Okay, today I'd like to show you my first commission and what I had to do, and a couple challenges I made, and a couple things I learned. So this, we'll start with just this. The whole idea is that a family friend I had has a 1964 Ford Falcon in which they want to mount these large speakers to. Okay. Now, how they want to do it is they have a couple sheet metal holes, which I can include pictures of, that they want me to mount something to in order to mount this to that. They're basically squares, similar to the profile I have here, and that's what I had to do. So, this is what I designed. I designed this main body piece to take the speaker, drops in like that. Then you've got four holes here. I mean, technically they're for screws, so 4 holes here in which you use the included plastic cutting screws, or I don't know if they're plastic or metal, but those original screws that come with the audio system, in order to screw them into the base, which is basically just a cup with 4 holes in it, and it's got a little wiring hole. And then on top here, this is where the real engineering is. This divot, or this ring here, has a matching ring, which fits on top of this. And there's 8 bolts that hold this together. They're, I believe they're M5, and they stick up 2 millimeters outside of the plastic. But luckily, she's going to be covering this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I can show you how all this works with my CAD model, conveniently featured right above the screen. So here is a half-cut model of what you're seeing, okay? Basically, you've got, here, let me get the right view. Okay, so you've got this top layer, and then you've got this middle layer. They basically mesh on top of each other. When they mesh, you end up with a gap, however big you want it to be, which is this light gray line. And that's what that light gray line is actually showing is just the back of this middle piece, right? You can see it goes all the way along. But if that part wasn't there and it was just a slice, then you would actually see, daylight behind that, obviously. And this is where a piece of sheet metal comes in to just around here. I'll use my hand because I don't really want to highlight anything like that. But the piece of sheet metal comes to about here, and then the holes go down through, it comes to about here, and then the holes come down through just in here. And a few things that I maybe should have thought about before I printed everything. One, I redesigned this grate from a different design. Here at me, I can show you the sketch. It was like this. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so there's a bunch of little holes. Don't know. I don't really have that anymore. I had one prototype that was just like that. Another thing I learned is check your model, because it turned out that I had just one mistake right there. This was much thicker, and then I made it thinner, but the offset to cover the head in there was just so large that that blue highlighted space in there was very, very small. So small that I could only get 1 or 2 layers printed on my 3D printer. So I had to change the model and just stick out the head just by 2 millimeters, which is okay. You can always just grind them down. They're socket heads, so they've got a ways of head space. But other than that, that's it, folks. quick little YouTube thing.